Dear students, welcome to virtual classroom of Municipal Corporation of Greater Mumbai. I am Sreekumar. The class is for 9th standard students. Subject is mathematics. Let me begin the class.
Welcome to the mathematics class for class 9 students. You are having two textbooks, part 1 and part 2. Part 1 is normally named as algebra, but it will be dealing with numbers, algebra, commercial mathematics, data handling, etc. This is very important in our life to know more about it. The second textbook, which is named as part 2 textbook, is about which this video is its first chapter, is dealing mainly or developing the skill of logical proofs, logical reasoning, mensuration, coordinate geometry, trigonometry, etc. Some are new for you, some terms you have heard. Especially logical proof, reasoning are something new for you because this textbook is developing that skill. The skill that everything requires a reason. Everything requires a proof. This is the fundamental of mathematics and in fact science too. So that skill is developed through mathematics in this textbook. And the other concept of coordinate geometry and trigonometry are also included. What is this? Logical proof. Logical proof means there should be a logic, reasoning and proof behind everything. That skill is very important in all fields of life. That's the importance of it. This will develop automatically through learning this textbook. Let us get into the first chapter, which is nothing but basic concepts in geometry. Fundamentals or the ABCD of geometry we are beginning with. You have studied in lower class about certain aspects of geometry, but that time the term geometry was not there. The terms like point, line, plane, coordinates of a point, distance, betweenness, conditional statements are certain basic concepts that this textbook is dealing in this chapter. And above all, what is the concept of proof in the concept of geometry? So let us get into the details of what it is. The term geometry is generated from the Greek words geo and metria. Geo means earth and metria means measuring. And geometry is a branch of mathematics concerned with the properties and relationships or relations of points, lines, surfaces, solids, and higher dimensional analogues. So maybe because the people were more related with earth, farmers, and field and construction, etc., such a field of mathematics developed. Because all this construction, what you see in front of you, require high accuracy of drawing first and measurement then. Whether it is big structures like pyramids or whether it is Taj Mahal or small things that we use nowadays in our day-to-day life like a SIM card, everything requires accuracy in its shape, size and measurement, where a geometry plays a vital role. That is the importance of geometry in a first instance in our life. The other aspect which I told you earlier, like logical reasoning and providing proof, etc., becomes a part of it. And geometry will be always talking about shape, structure and its accuracy in its measurement. And I always remember we need to make a Taj Mahal on paper. Then only we can construct it. Think about our own BMC head office or the railway station, Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj terminus. All these must have been drawn first on the paper before starting the construction. Again, the word construction is also very closely related with the geometry. So geometry is closely related with our day-to-day life and the things around us. With this in mind, you should learn geometry or this part of mathematics. If you know that it has got that depth and importance, you will really start loving it. Let me get, in fact, what the textbook wishes to tell you. It talks about point first. Point is a simple dot in the space. I have put a dot on the screen. I don't know whether you can see. I'm just moving that dot or point on the screen. It can be anywhere on the screen. Such a small location, we can say, is the point. It can be on the screen in the middle of the room in which you are sitting or in the middle of the classroom. It doesn't mean that it should be on a paper or a flat surface. It is a location in the space when we define a point. But normally, to make ourselves understand and feel, we put it on a paper and say that it is a location on the paper, but it is a location in space anywhere. We can call it as point. This is the first observable thing in the geometry. And if you put many points together, one after another, very close by, it becomes a line. That is the definition of line. Where n number of points, innumerable points are kept together, and it is infinite, never ending. Both ends can go further. Endless collection of points along a straight path is named as line. Line is known to us, but when we define, we have to define. If you take a part of it, neither it extending on both ends, where the ends are fixed, we call it as line segment. And we can name this line segment, line, etc. with English alphabets. Here it is line segment AB, and the line can be named as L. So line segment will be part of a line that has two end points. And if one end is infinite and the other end is having fixed nature, we call such a geometrical figure as a ray, part of a line that has one end point and extend endlessly on the other. And if it is something like a surface which can extend in all directions, having its own boundary but can extend in all direction endlessly, we call it as a plane. The best example for a plane is a surface, table surface, or the surface of cricket ground is a surface. Paper surface is there. We call it as a plane, endless flat surface, and which require at least 3 points to denote. We can say the plane ABC in this case. When we denoted a line segment, 2 letters were used. For a line, single letter is enough, but for a plane, at least 3 points are required to mention that this is a plane. We are learning the primary basic terms and concepts related to geometry. So I think this much is clear to you. Point, line, line segment, ray, plane. Now there is a slightly different thing. You have studied about number line in class 7. The topic is coordinates of points and distance, a topic which is introduced in your textbook in connection with number line. Number line extends on both sides, positive and negative part of number line, 0 as a sender, integers, all these things you have studied in class 7. Using that particular knowledge of number line, which you have already studied, we are trying to understand the concept of coordinates on a number line. Coordinates are certain points on the number line by which we can denote the number on the number line with the help of English alphabet. D on the number line denotes number 1 in this case. You can look at it. B is denoting -3. So B denotes the number -3. Similarly, coordinates of point A and E are -5 and 3 respectively. So coordinate of a point A and E are respectively represented by 5 and 3. So we are using alphabet in order to denote a number on the number line. If you are asked what is the coordinate of C, you will write it is -2. Right? So this way, a methodology by which we can show the points on the number line with the help of English alphabet, we name it as the coordinates, and the numbers are named as coordinates of that particular alphabet. And this is another language which is very closely used in study of geometry, because this will help us to talk about the distance between two points. Coordinate points are points on the number line, and which is denoted with the help of alphabets. Observe this number line, and if you try to find out the distance with the help of coordinate of points, suppose that if you want to find out the distance between two coordinates of points, the number line and the concept can be used. Coordinate is having a greater reference of meeting point also. To find the distance between 2 points, we have to consider 2 coordinates and subtract the smaller coordinate from the larger. So then we will get the distance. The smaller has to be subtracted from the larger one. And as we go right of a number line, we know that the number becomes larger. As we go left, it will become smaller. That means -5 is much smaller than -1. -1 is greater than -5. That we should keep in mind while dealing with distance between 2 points, considering the coordinates. Okay, so that these points like what I said, the concept of distance, concept of coordinate of points help us to understand the distance between, and thereafter the betweenness of two points. Let us have a clear example. The coordinates of point D and E are 1 and 3 respectively, and 3 is greater than 1. Naturally, we will subtract the smaller one from the larger, and the distance 3 minus 1 is equal to 2. So we call the distance between point E and D is equal to 3 minus 1, which is equal to 2. This is something fundamental to make you understand that coordinates of points can be used to find out distance. It may find very easy and simple for you, but the concept development is an important part of learning basic things. So we represent the distance with use the help of L as a symbol. So we'll write the distance between E and D as L in bracket ED. That is the length of the segment ED will be represented like that. That also you should understand. Here are some textual examples. I'm just going it fast because it is there in the textbook. You can go to the textbook and find that these are mentioned over there, and these are examples from the textbook. We had subtract from the higher, smaller from the 1 minus 2 will be the answer. Naturally, we know that whenever we are subtracting, we will change the sign and add as per integer concept, and we get the answer 3. And the distance between the coordinates of point C and D is 3. The same when another example is given, you can find out that also in your textbook. The coordinate of A is -5, that of B is -3, and we know that -3 is greater than -5, and -3 minus -5 will be equal to 2. So we find out the distance between these two coordinates A and B as 2. Integer concept should be very clear. It comes in use every time in algebra and geometry. That is in part 1 and part 2 of your textbook. Should be very clear. Anyway, the distance between any 2 points will be always positive, and if the 2 points are not distinct, then distance between them is 0. If the 2 points is not distinct, different, both are same, then there is no concept of distance between them. So naturally it will become 0, or there is no distance between them. These are all some fundamental terms used and principle used in basic geometry, and I will be going to the next topic or related to this in the next video, which will be more talking about betweenness and other aspects related to it. But we should understand and we should love the concept of geometry and the purpose of geometry more than that, because again I repeat that whatever we see around, beautiful things and useful things, all these are having a construction of it in the paper where geometry plays a very important role. So basically you have studied about the distance between 2 points is obtained by subtracting smaller coordinate from the larger, and distance between any 2 points is a non-negative real number. These are the two things you studied by studying about distance between 2 points. Further, you will be studying about betweenness, that I will be giving you in the next video, where you will be studying about the concept of collinear points and their distinction. Now click on the subscription button below to subscribe the channel, then the bell button to get the notifications of the new videos. Thank you.